Hi friends, today we are starting our first chapter, that is chapter 1, basic concept under income tax for CA intermediate or CA IPCC students. So let's see what we will study or covered in this first chapter. So we are going to understand the meaning of tax, type of tax, the components of income tax such as the Annual Finance Act, its income tax rules, its circulars, notification, legal decision of court, the power to levy taxes, from where the government will get the power to levy taxes, then steps involved in computation of income tax, the important definition under income tax which we all should know before starting going in deep, and at the end we will see the rate of income tax charged for different type of persons. So this is all about your first chapter. So let's see what and all topic we will cover in this video or will understand in this video. So we are going to understand the meaning of tax, the type of tax, the power and reason to levy taxes. So these three concepts or these three topics we are going to cover in this video. So let's start. So friends, as we were here to discuss, learn and understand tax, so we'll start by knowing the meaning of tax. So what do you mean by tax? Tax is defined as it is a pecuniary burden upon whom? It is pecuniary burden laid upon individuals and property owners why it has been laid upon? Because to support the government. So how it will be support the government or how it will be enabled? By a payment exacted by a legislative authority. So here, if you see here, a tax is defined as a pecuniary burden, a burden which is laid upon on individuals and the property owners, those who are earning the income. Okay, so why this burden has been laid? To support the government. How it will be supported? A payment will be exacted by the legislative authority, or an authority will exact the payment from the individual and the property owners. So tax is not a, so in this definition you will understand that tax is not a voluntary payment. So here the taxpayers or an individual, he is not paying on his own will, but it is a enforced contribution. It is not a voluntary payment, but it is an enforced contribution exacted by legislative authority. So therefore the tax is nothing but a source of revenue collected by government from individual and property owners. Why tax is being collected? So we know that tax is not a voluntary contribution and it is a source of revenue to the government. By how it will be exacted by, or the payment or this enforced contribution will be taken from the individual or property owners why they will do, why they will collect, or why they are exacting such payment, or why this contribution has been enforced on individuals, just because to meet the, so why it has been done? To meet the common welfare, to meet the common welfare of welfare expenditure, to meet the common welfare expenditure of the society. So what and all the common welfare expenditure of the society? It will, the revenue will be utilized for meeting the expense of governments, or to meet the common welfare expenditure of the society. So what and all will be the common welfare of the society? That is, the revenue collected through taxes will be used for defense, used for the education sector, used for healthcare, infrastructure facilities like road, dams, bridges, all those will be given from these, or all those facilities will be given to the common welfare of the people or society, or the to the people of the India. By collecting the tax, the government provide all these facilities. Okay, so these are the, this is the meaning of tax, and this is the reason why the tax has been collected. So let's see now, we have understood the meaning of tax. So we'll see what and all the types of taxes. So I'll just write the topic over here. The second topic for today's, types of tax. So there are two types of taxes. So first tax was, it is called as direct tax, and the other one called as indirect tax. So what do you mean by direct tax? As you know, as name suggests, the tax is directly levied on the income of a person. So it is directly levied on whom? On the income or wealth of the person. So direct tax means a tax is directly levied on the income or the wealth of a person. So here what the person, whoever has the income, earns the income, he will directly pay the tax to the government. On what? On income he earned. So this burden, whatever he is bearing, so this burden is cannot be shifted. So in direct tax, what we learn, or what we have understood, the direct tax, which is, as name suggests, it is directly levied on the income or wealth of the person, which the person directly pays to the government. It is not paying to the some other person, that we are going to see in indirect taxes. As of now, we'll try to understand the direct tax, which is levied on directly on the income of the person. The person on whom this tax has been levied, he'll pay directly to the government, and this, whatever the tax he has paid, that burden he cannot shift it to any other person. So with an example, if being a CA or any other person, for example the salaried person who earns the monthly salary, if it is more than the specified limits, then he has to pay the tax on his salary income. If it is rent, he is earning the rent per annum more than 2,50,000 or 5 lakh, whatever, or the 3 lakh, whatever the, based on the person. If he is earning more than the specified limit, then he has to pay the tax. So here if you see, the person who earns this salary he directly pay on his income, that is salary, to the government. Okay, so example over here is income tax. So income tax is calculated on salary, rent, if any property has been sold or sale of land, all etc. On all those things, based on the rules and provisions, the tax will be collected. So this is the example for the direct tax. Okay, so then what is indirect tax? So in indirect tax, tax is levied on the price of goods or services. So what does it mean? See, whatever goods you purchase, for example, you want to purchase a phone, new phone. So what will you do? You go to any store nearby. So you go and purchase the phone from there. So in that, if you see in the box, it is given inclusive of all taxes. So without knowingly, you are paying the tax on the phone. So that is called as an indirect tax. So here, tax levied on price of goods and or services. So it is indirectly paid. It is not on the income of a person, but it is the goods. If it is like a smallest chocolate, if you purchase also, that also you have to pay the taxes. And any other goods, if you purchase a bus also, you have to pay the taxes. So this is tax is levied on the price of goods or services. For example, so example for this will be GST, which is known as goods and service tax. You all might have heard. Then customs, which is paid, the customs duty will be levied on the goods which has been imported or exported in or outside India. So what is the basic difference between direct tax and indirect tax? Both places we are paying the taxes, but is in indirect taxes we are paying directly, but in indirect taxes the person will be paying the indirect tax indirect. Okay. So what happened about the burden of the tax? Okay, in direct tax, the burden of tax cannot be shifted, but in indirect tax, the burden of tax can be shifted from one person to another. So how this will be done? So I'll just give you one example. We'll take the same mobile example. So here it is you go to mobile shop, any shop. So for example, I'll just take Sangeeta store here. So you want to purchase the mobile phone, to purchase a mobile phone. So what Sangeeta usually does, it will purchase the same mobile, or it will purchase the mobile or other accessories from the Mr. A and other dealer. So how he will collect? He sells the goods to the Sangeeta by collecting tax. I'll take here GST. So this is mobile price plus GST. So Sangeeta what will do? Sangeeta will purchase the price like value plus GST. A total it is considered as an MRP. So when Sangeeta sells the goods to you, okay, so what it will do? It will also do the same thing. So price plus GST. So here Sangeeta also sells with the price and GST. So but what happened over here is this GST will be shifted finally to you. So whatever the Sangeeta has paid the GST to the Mr. A will be offset with the GST he has collected from you. So here this GST and this GST will get set off, and whatever the final price or the final value will be borne by the ultimate consumer. So here if you see the burden of tax will ultimately borne by the final consumer, that is you. So this is how the indirect tax mechanism works. Okay, so these are two types of taxes, that is, one is direct tax and other one is indirect tax. So now we have learned the meaning and the types of the taxes, but you must have wondered, like, how can government levy tax on its citizen, or from where the government gets so much of power to levy taxes? So that is the next topic. So we'll try to get the answer, like from where this government is getting the power to levy taxes. So here is the answer. So government gets all its power from a constitution of India. Through there are various articles will be there, so from there the government will get the power to levy taxes. So if in article 265, which says, article 265 of constitution says, no tax shall be levied or collected, no tax shall be levied or collected except by authority of law. So if you observe here, article 265 clearly says no tax shall be levied or collected, but with the authority of law government can collect. So exception is given only where if the government is authorized by the law, then the government can collect the taxes. So exception is here is law. If law is framed, then constitution authorized to levy and collect taxes. So the government, what it needs to do? The government needs to frame a law. So how it will make law? So article 246. Article 246 given the power to central or the parliament and state legislature to make law on the matters enumerated in the 7th schedule of this article. So it give the power to central, which is also known as a parliament, and state legislature or a state government to make law. So 246 says that these two, that central and state legislature, can make law on the matters enumerated. So matters enumerated in 7th schedule of article 246. So what matters it covered? So there are 3 lists which enumerate the matters under which the central parliament and state legislature have the authority to make laws for the purpose of levy taxes. So the lists are, 3 lists. So first list is union list. Second list is state list, and third list is concurrent. So in these three lists, the government, or in these three lists, the matters has been given under which the government or the central or the state have the authority to make the laws to levy taxes. Okay. So in union list, parliament has the, so here parliament has the exclusive power to make laws on the matter listed in union list. In state list, the state legislatures has exclusive power to levy taxes on the matters which is given in the state list. And in concurrent list, where both, that is parliament and state legislature, have the power to make laws on matters which is contained in the concurrent list. So in union list, only the parliament has the exclusive power. So the matters which is covered under union list, only the parliament has the right, or the parliament has the power to make laws. Or any matters which is covered in the state list, the state legislature has the exclusive power to make laws. And concurrent list, where both the parliament and state legislature come together and make laws. So therefore income tax, so where does this income tax will come? Then income tax is the 72. So income tax is the 82 or 82nd entry in union list. So the income tax is covered under union list. So from here you will understand that why only the budget will be done, or why only the decision regarding the income tax will be taken by the parliament or the central government, because it is covered in the union list at the 80 as an 82nd entry. So the article 246 through this has given the power to the parliament or the central government to make laws on the, or to collect taxes on income, but it excludes agricultural income. So article 246 says to the central government that you can collect tax on the income of the people, but there is no tax shall be collected on the agricultural income. So agricultural income is kept outside of the tax. So both direct or indirect taxes cannot be levied on the agricultural income. Why so? To support the agriculturists or the farmers, as it is the backbone of the India. So India is basically a agricultural based country. So to support the farmers or the agriculturists, the tax will not be levied on agricultural income. So friends, in this video we have learned meaning of tax, the type of tax, and the power to levy taxes on the income. We have seen the list and from where the government gets the power to levy taxes on the income of the people. So we'll see a quick recap of summary of this video. We'll see a quick recap what we have learned so far in this video. We have seen the definition of tax. So tax is defined as a pecuniary burden which is laid upon the individual and the property owners to support government by a payment exacted by a legislative authority. So we have understood that a tax is not a voluntary payment, it is an enforced contribution exacted by the legislative authority to meet the common welfare expenditure of the society as a whole. Then we have seen the types of the tax. So there are two types, there are direct tax and indirect taxes. So direct tax, which is known as directly levied on the income or the wealth of the person will directly pay the tax to the government, and the burden of this tax cannot be shifted to any other person. So the example for this kind of tax is income tax. So income tax will be computed on the salary, rent, sale of property, land, etc. The other types is indirect tax, where the tax is levied on the price of goods or services. In this, the burden of tax is or can be shifted from one person to another. So for example of this kind of indirect taxes, GST, customs duty, etc. So I have given the example of mobile phone, how the GST or how the tax components can be offset with the purchase and on the sale. The next topic what we have done so far today is to see the power to levy taxes. So the government has got the power from Constitution of India, where in Article 265 says that no tax shall be collected or levied except by authority law. So if there is law is framed, the government can levy your taxes. So Article 246, where it says that central or the parliament or the state legislature can collect taxes or can make laws on the matters which is given in this 7th schedule of the Article 246. So in the 7th schedule there are given 3 lists. In this they have given the many matters has been enumerated in those 3 lists, and the power has been given to the parliament and the state legislature to make laws or to collect the taxes. So those 3 lists are union list, state list and concurrent list. So union list, where the matters, the parliament has the exclusive powers on the matters which is enumerated in the union list. The parliament can make a law or can collect the taxes. In state legislature or in the state list, only the state legislature has the power to make the laws to collect the taxes, and in concurrent list both parliament and the state legislature together have the power to make laws on the matters which is covered in the concurrent list. So the income tax, which is the 82nd entry of union list, so the power to make laws or the power to collect the taxes is given in the first list of 7th schedule of Article 246, that is union list, and only the parliament has the right to make laws in the regarding the income tax act. Okay, so it says that the government can collect the tax on the income of persons other than the agricultural income. So agricultural income has been kept outside the ambit of the taxes. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. To continue our journey of taxation, so let's subscribe this channel. Thank you.